Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. I am going to do some fighting, and we'll see how that goes. It's time. Cambodia, let's be friends. And by friends, I mean let's fight. I'm going to go ahead and queue in a naval expansion, actually in Kanto, and another in Toku. And I'm hoping that's going to give me the naval advantage that I need to stand up to anyone who wants to make this difficult for me. We're also going to go ahead and activate conscripts in our lower conscription level areas so we can get some additional forces. And we're going to put in those enlistment decrees before I forget. So who's interested in getting involved? I'm not going to add any more war goals. That's something we can live without. Dai Nam doesn't have... Dai Nam has its conscription centers. No, Dai Nam doesn't have much of an army at all. So hopefully we'll be able to get this knocked right out. I'm going to go ahead and drop government wages to help with costs. So, can I sway countries? I can sway Italy. They're interested in having Dai Nam as a puppet. They're also interested in a treaty port, which I'm more inclined to grant them. On the other hand, France wants much the same. But having France on one side of this might put another country on the other side. So I think I'm just going to wait on that, and we'll see how things go. I'll watch and I'll figure out how things are likely to go. There's Italy. Alright, so... But you would still technically accept a treaty port in Dai Nam. And pulling you away is more valuable to me than adding France in. So let's put a treaty port in Mekong. And we'll see if Italy says they're no longer willing. Well, we'll see. We'll see if that's just an artifact of the way it's structured visually. Excellent. Italy... Interesting. France declared neutrality. Weird. Okay. Well, Italy, I sure don't want you getting involved in this situation, so... Does Dai Nam have any more maneuvers? They do. But Italy already abandoned them, so I don't think they'll try to sway Italy again. So I think we're good. I think we're clean. Costs are kind of through the roof right now. I think... This is a situation... I'm going to leave this going for now until we're below our reserve maximum, and then I'm going to address it. Because I think, well, reducing government wages again would save us quite a bit of money. It would put us at, let me see, we're at 340, reduced prestige by about 10%, so that's not really going to affect us vis-a-vis Egypt. And we can't get above Netherlands right now because they're recognized and we're not. So I think dropping government wages again is going to be just fine. So far, nobody has moved to a different position right now. So I think we're good to go. Let's wait until this turns over. And bam. Everyone who is not already involved is no longer involved. So, the fight will get started pretty soon. I'm going to go ahead and pause constructions. That really helps my finances, but I don't need to do that right now. Because it sure would be nice to continue to increase constructions. Let me just make sure we're good on railways in places other than Kansai. We're not. We're short in Chubu and Shikoku. So we'll go ahead and build those up. We'll queue those up to the beginning of the queue to make sure they get built. And now we'll get started on a naval invasion. You are a rear admiral. Do I have anyone else I can pull into the Navy? No. Well, not for what I need to do right now. Let's go. We'll still grab the low overall strength general. And we'll see how that goes. Tohoku and Chubu, right? Or where I built the naval bases? No. Shikoku? No, Kanto. Kanto is where I built the other naval base. Naval bases always take forever to hire, and I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe, actually, let's go ahead and switch our enlistment efforts over to those areas. Maybe that'll increase our size of our navy. Ooh. There's a Min ethnic uprising in Great Britain's holdings in China. Oh, not loving that number. Not loving that number at all. Would I rather increase taxes or stop building new buildings? I've got a really good number of loyalists right now. Standard of living went way up when we reduced serfdom, which I think is just sort of the nature of that beast. Serfdom being what it is. See, now we're over our naval amount. So we're going to potentially have a penalty here, but I'm hoping that our technological superiority will allow us to win the day on this without having a problem. Because we are far superior to the forces that are there technologically. And then we can grab one more of these armies and move in once the proverbial beachhead is established. Come on. Oh boy. Representing his constituents in the shogunate, Takachika Mori has issued a formal petition to the Japanese government to pass traditionalism. One last matter for the day, sir. Members of your constituency arrived this morning. They're asking rather loudly and insistently if you would meet with them about new legislation. Is that it? Goodness, you seem as if you've seen a ghost. I'm sure I can spare the last hours of light for them, can't I? I believe so, sir. They weren't taking no for an answer. We'll see what we can do. So, a shogunate wants us to goof the economy back up. That's really bad. They are going to go up to +8 once their opposition to tenant farmers dies down. And then from the unpopular compromises that we made, we're going to go down, we're going to lose that -3, so they're going to be up at +11. So I think if I let this go, we will actually be okay, but I need to be careful with it. Because I do not want to shift back to traditionalism. So this is one of those things that they were working on fixing up for the with the new patch. This is busted right now, and the reason this is happening is because for some reason I can't like launch this naval invasion while there are new battalions being allocated to this general. So what we're going to do is we're going to promote the other two, and hopefully that will allow him to land. Because I really want him to land. To do this war that we're doing. This war that is costing me a lot of money. Come on, any day now. Any day now. You can... Alright, well I'm going to increase the game speed because this is bananas. I already waited my appropriate amount of time. The game should not be allocating new forces to this guy while he is waiting to naval invade. I made sure he was the one who was not getting... Okay, here we go. Here we go. We got a naval battle here. And now we're invading. Alright, yes. How are they beating us on strength? Okay, alright. Oh, this is a tough battle. Oh, this is going to be rough, potentially. The enemy force is quite large. I'm going to have to be very quick on the draw here if I want to get my... the forces that I need in here into position. Okay, so here's what's going on. My offense is going down because I'm exceeding my number of allowed troops according to this. So now my offense is going back up because I've got the number of units in the battle isn't changing, but I was outrunning my naval my number of flotillas here. So that's what happened with that. It's a very like janky and weird thing, and it's something that is being changed in the upcoming patch. I think when we finish these two railways, we're going to go ahead and quit building stuff. And that's going to help our finances very significantly. Not as much as I would have hoped, though. Interesting. We might need to do a little tax hike, but I think we can weather this overage, this shortage for a while. And then what we'll do is as soon as he's landed, we're going to pull one of these generals here, and more importantly, we're going to promote Tori back to being a high enough ranking general that he'll be able to have the new battalions that he needs in order to win the fight here. So I'm just waiting for this to go down. Being very careful here. Alright, here we go. Alright, so... Oh my god, you are kidding me. So, unfortunately, we've developed a problem. And that problem is that this is technically 2 fronts. So, Dai Nam is theoretically able to push here without having any kind of resistance, which is why it's very important that we bring in a new general and get him in here as fast as possible, because I do not want this front to get cut off and create a problem. We're guarding our convoys to this area. Yeah, so now they're pushing forward here. Again, no reason this should be able to happen. I have a general defending this area. There is absolutely no diegetic reason for me to be losing this particular battle. In fact, I'm actually not sure why it's taking my generals so long to get here. But we are down to 1 front now. So I'm actually going to put this general on defense for the moment. And that will allow him to really have a strength superiority over our enemies. And maybe we'll be able to save this. Alright, that puts us handily winning. And that should buy us plenty of the time that we need to get our other general over here. Whew, that was a near thing. I'm sorry, I know I complain about this game a lot, but I do love this game very much. But it has flaws. You know, we especially as video games are concerned, I find, at least, as a nerd, like, the games that I find the hardest to... The games that I get the angriest about not being as good as I want them to be are the games that I like the most, right? And I think that's a common fact among nerds, that we just, like, we love our thing and I want it to be better. You know, if this were a game that I just thought was terrible, it wouldn't matter to me one bit if it were not as good as I wished it were, because, hey, it's just not that good, and that's okay. But, you know, I do genuinely really like the way this game works, and I like a lot of things about it, and I want it to be the best game that it can be, and that's why I have these frustrations. It's not me saying I don't like the game, it's just the way things are. Anyway, we are very much winning now. So, despite the high cost of this war, I think we are going to be able to win it, and that's going to be really good, because having Cambodia as a staging ground will be very, very good for future expansions. I'm thinking about grabbing Champasak, not a very high GDP nation, but a reasonable one. But we'll see how our finances are after this war, because this has cost us quite a bit. And the kind of chicanery that I just did by changing around the ranks of the generals, that shouldn't be a thing it's possible to do. That's just, again, that's some completely non-diegetic, like, that's a thing that is another one of those things that's only possible because of the way the game mechanics are built. And again, that's going to be something that finishes itself out in the upcoming patch. We are going to win this fight. I'm just hanging around here to make sure that if we wind up with 2 fronts, that I can move the general from one to the other, one of my generals from one to the other. There's Shogun. Excellent. That's a good technology to have. I'm not going to change up anything about my military PM's production methods right now, because I want to make sure that I don't completely goof up my situation here. Alright. And we sure do have 2 different fronts, so I'm going to put one of my generals over on the other one, get you advancing there, and you advancing here, and we have still got full force superiority in these areas, so that's looking wonderful. I'm going to go ahead and increase the speed here. I think we can push to the end of this. The enemy does not have war support protection because we've got a hold of Cambodia. We do have the capacity to go to per capita taxation. That would increase our revenue significantly. The shogunate would not like it, however. So I'm going to wait on that for now, because we've still got a petition in the works with them for having more stuff for traditionalism, and I want to wait until that passes to make sure that I don't get them really, really pissed at me over a change in the tax laws right now. Alright, we should be winning both of these battles pretty soon. And Dai Nam is functionally below 100. They are happy to take this deal. Just want to wait for this battle to finish. I don't know why, it's just something I feel like doing. And I want to get hold of more of Cambodia. Cool. Alright, transfer Cambodia. Thank you. So, we now have Cambodia under our control. Cambodia is a state with a very large population and a very high GDP. And that is improving our finances significantly. I'm going to go ahead and resume construction here. And we are back to being 20k in the black. So, that all is very good. And Yozori Tori died. Let's see who we can replace him with. Let's see. You're aligned with the Buddhist monks. You're a pillager and you're cautious. I'm going to bring you in. Promote you to rank 2. And that should work just fine. And if I have to engage in additional chicanery, I will. The play for power. Shigeto Kawamura, leader of the Buddhist monks, has made a remarkable play for power in the capital in order to secure a spot for the Buddhist monks within the government. However, it's not entirely clear if they should be rewarded for their novel tactics. There's only one light in the street that leads to the Buddhist monks' headquarters. There's also only one light inside. There, Shigeto Kawamura relaxes among the sumptuous mahogany furniture and velvet cushions. The lamp is identical to those that have been sent from the east. Okay, well, that's an interesting way to put that when we're talking about something happening in Japan. The ends justify the means, and our means are very, very justified. It's difficult to not believe him when he offers an inviting seat by his side. If I say Shigeto Kawamura will be recognized for this, this makes the Buddhist monks 25% stronger. Or not all is fair in love and war, this makes them 25% weaker and makes them angry. I'm going to go ahead and make them stronger. We'll see what comes of that. With that having been said, it's been a wild ride. I got a little salty, but we ultimately still ended up getting what we wanted. And despite my saltiness, I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun as well this episode, and I will see you all on the other side.